The country's leading public health agency is facing a major shakeup. On Wednesday, the Trump administration fired the director of the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention after less than a month on the job. CBS News has learned Susan Monarez was at odds with Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. over his COVID vaccine policies. Her attorney claims she was targeted after refusing to, quote, rubber stamp unscientific directives and fire dedicated public health experts. Kennedy blamed the CDC while speaking at a news conference with the Texas governor earlier today.
The CDC is an agency that is very troubled for a very long time, and anybody who lived through the COVID pandemic and saw all of these bizarre recommendations that were not science-based.
CBS News White House reporter Aaron Navarro joins us now. Aaron, thanks for stopping in with us. You have some new reporting about who the Trump administration wants as the next CDC director. What have you learned?
Meg, we have learned from a source familiar with the move that Jim O'Neill, currently the Deputy Secretary at the Department of Health and Human Services, is now the acting director of the CDC. O'Neill was nominated by President Trump this past November, but he has previously served in the HHS and FDA throughout the first decade of the 2000s during the Bush administration. From then on, he got involved with investment funds and the foundation of Peter Thiel, a big Silicon Valley Republican megadonor. And when O'Neill's nomination was announced back in November of 2024, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., the Secretary of HHS, said he, quote, is the perfect partner to help me restore HHS to its incorruptible scientific research and public health priorities. So showing there is a relationship between himself and the Secretary Kennedy Jr. there. We are out to the White House for any further comments.
Aaron, what are you hearing in terms of what this move says about the direction RFK Jr. wants to take the CDC?
Yeah, it shows both from the termination of Monarez, the resignation of 3 other CDC officials, that there is clear internal disagreement with Secretary Kennedy Jr. on his stances, his plans on vaccines. We've learned that that was part of the termination or the reasoning behind it for Monarez, as she and Secretary Kennedy's team clashed on vaccines and the CDC's Vaccine Advisory Board. In fact, Kennedy was the one to retire all 17 members of the Advisory Committee for Immunization Practices, replace them with his own picks. The department under his direction has stopped at least $500 million in funding for some mRNA vaccine projects. We know that he has been a skeptic of vaccines in the past, but at least in his role as secretary, you are seeing that play out when it comes to funding, when it comes to who serves on the advisory boards on vaccines. And during that press conference today in Texas, which you saw a clip of earlier, Kennedy Jr. claimed that the CDC had spread misinformation about vaccines during the COVID pandemic and said, quote, the agency is in trouble and we need to fix it, and some people should not be working there anymore.
All right, Aaron Navarro with that latest update. Thank you so much.